Thanks to the support as a channel member, All Stars United SC. Well, here we go again then, folks. New look team. Quite a big Champions League test. If we win these first couple of matches against two of the best teams in the world, then we might start to believe we've got a chance this season. Hello and welcome to Club 3, part 23 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our first two games in this season's Champions League, both at home, both against quite tough opposition. I mean, look at that for 3 games in a row. Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich in back-to-back-to-back matches. Bayern Munich is in Bundesliga and they've had a fairly tame start to the season, just like we have. We've not lost yet. We have, however, drawn a couple of games. My system that I developed towards the end of last year of rotating constantly in the Bundesliga doesn't necessarily seem to be working just yet. We haven't lost, but we're not dominating the way we were. We had another head turned after our deadline closed as well. Barcelona came in and offered like £80 million for Ayadeli, so we've had to agree that he can leave for 140 million or something when the time comes. The deadline day deals for Nick Jonas, Geimer and Schumacher both fell through though, so they are here and part of the squad for this season, at least for the first part of this season, although Schumacher not registered for the Champions League squad. I realised, because the game told me, but I hadn't thought about it, but both Van Eijsma and Emil Hiskey have now been here 2 years and they're still under 21, so neither of them have to be registered in our Champions League squad anymore, which made it a lot easier for squad registration, and Schumacher is the only one who had to miss out. And it wasn't because of homegrown at club status, it's because we only have 7 players, I think, who are homegrown in Germany. We might need to focus in on signing a few more German players and German homegrown players in the future. That one, I mean, I'll level with you. It caught me out. I wasn't really monitoring that. But this is the team. This is the team for the game against Paris Saint-Germain. This is what I would consider my new first choice 11. So Antonio Carlos in goal, new boy Gray, Colin Gray, off of Burton, formerly of Real Madrid, playing as an inverted wing back, so he gets in alongside Van Eijsma, and then Suarez, Caldere and Schikowski forming the back 3. Van Eijsma in ahead of them, and then Bellingham and new boy Ruiz, Emil Hiskey on the left, Herrera on the right, and Big Kev up front. Let's see how they get on, shall we? I am hopeful. I am very hopeful. In other news, we have had early notification that Jude Bellingham might not be interested in renewing his contract when the time comes. Might be because he's currently unhappy because he feels like he's not starting enough games because we don't play him in the league very often. We're saving him for Champions League. But he is 31. There's interest in him from a Saudi Arabian club. And I can imagine he's probably quite ready to go and take that payday for the last few years of his career. So I've kind of got in my mind, if we can get mega money for him, like more than we paid for him, we do let him go probably at the end of the season. But Big Kev has opened his Champions League account for the season. Big Kev, by the way, was the Champions League top scorer last year. He didn't get Bundesliga top scorer because he rotated quite a lot domestically, but did get 12 goals from 14 appearances in the Champions League last year and is already off the mark for this season. In other news as well, looking at the Paris Saint-Germain team, that's poor from Carlos. That must be a big deflection. Let's just have a look at this from the other angle, because I don't understand how Carlos is conceding that. Not for the amount of money we've spent on him. It has been disallowed. Exactly. There was cheating involved. But 2 players who did come up on our scout reports this summer as potentially available, Musiala and Pedri, both in this Paris Saint-Germain team. It was an offside. There we go. And we did consider for a minute maybe going in for Musiala, but he's 31 and they wanted £200 million for him. Pedri would have been around about the 100 million mark, but again, he's in his 30s. And when we've already got Bellingham, we didn't want to form a midfield of old men with just Van Eijsma in there as the only young player. So I think I was probably for the best leaving them on the shelf when I was doing my summer shopping. But we head towards half-time, still 1-0 up here. If we can grab a second just before half-time, that would be delightful. Big Kev taking the long throw. And, of course, there's a lot of him to throw it a long way. It comes back to Big Kev, plays it into Suarez, slides it across goal. Bellingham's there. I don't know how he's missed that. That's hit the corner flag. Jude Bellingham, our captain, needs to get his head right. On the little pre-season who should be your captain thing, Big Kev is actually above him on who's most suitable to be captain. And I was very tempted to take it off him. Big Kev's our vice captain. But I don't know, Bellingham might be becoming a little bit big time for us. Wants to start every game despite being in his 30s. I'm trying to manage his game time. And I mean, that was a big missed chance. And now if adding on to that, he's not going to be renewing his contract. Big Kev might be becoming club captain sooner rather than later. Caldere then plays it forward to Van Eijma, who's got Gray alongside him. But what a pass from Van Eijma. Oh, my word. He's the best player in the world. What a pass. And Ruiz is there to tuck it home. But all credit to Stallone Van Eijma. This is, I mean, it's too good. He's not even looking. Big Kev does very well to leave it as well because he can see Ruiz is running through and in a better position. But Van Eijma is just on another level. He is still only 19 years old. Inevitably, he's going to be making the move to Barcelona that everyone else seems to make, I'm sure. But for now, we're very much enjoying him. Cessped, the new boy on the left-hand side, is going to come on. Herrera hasn't had a particularly exciting game, so another new boy, Oliveira, can come on for him. And then I think we're also going to bring on Garcia at the back, and Suarez can just slot back into the libero position that he's very comfortable doing, and we maintain our back three and an extra body in midfield shape that seems to be the thing that is working for us these days. I think Van Eijma does benefit from having someone alongside him, so it just frees him up to do stuff like get that assist that he just got. Big Kev's tiring, so Connor Egan can come on for him, and then for the final change, we'll take off Calderi and Velletti. No, wrong one. Velletti can come on for him, and we'll just swap those two over. Schikowski can slide into centre-back, and Velletti, who can play centre-back, but is a natural right-back. Another big boy. I think the average height of our defence is about 6'4" now with the four of them on there. All four of them very big boys, so fingers crossed we should be able to defend comfortably here. There is the headed clearance from Velletti, who I think is 6'4", and they're Paris Saint-Germain on the attack again, and Garcia clears it off the line. It had beaten Carlos, but Garcia is there covering for him and hacks it clear, and it's Paris Saint-Germain on the attack again. Bellingham looking to close down. Bellingham, I need to be able to have better conversations with my players, because I need to be able to say to Bellingham, hey, Jude, look at that. Hey, Jude. Not deliberate, but perfect. You notice how you were able to play 90 minutes against Paris Saint-Germain? That's because you didn't start at the weekend. Funny how that works out, isn't it? Because more often than not, I have to take him off with 20 minutes to go because he's tired. But he's managed to do this whole game because we're managing his game time. I need to be able to tell him that. I want to have that conversation. I know better than Jude Bellingham. Not just in Football Manager. All aspects of life. I know better than Jude Bellingham. Apparently that was such nonsense that it blurred the camera. I just glanced over. I don't know how long it had been blurred for, but as soon as I stopped talking nonsense, the blur went away. But that is an excellent start to our Champions League season. A big win over a big club. Now we need a big win over an even bigger club, because in a week's time, weirdly, no Bundesliga game in between, but in a week's time, it's Real Madrid. Beat them as well, and we start to believe. So Real Madrid then, one change to the team from the one against Paris Saint-Germain. Schikowski's picked up an injury. He's going to be out for 12 days. So Velletti comes in to start at right back. I was in two minds about whether to go with the youngster or whether to bring Ferreira in and maybe shuffle around how our defence works. But we're playing against one of the best teams around. I think we have to do this defensive structure that we know works. There's your confirmation that Al Ali are interested in Bellingham. But Bellingham, fingers crossed, get a big performance out of him against his former club. He's going to want to show them they were wrong to sell him, especially sell him at a slight loss at only 30 years old as well. It's a little bit surprising. Having just mentioned that Musiala, who's 2 years older than Bellingham, in fact, was Bellingham 29 when we signed him? But he was 2 years older than Bellingham was when we brought him in, and they'd still want over 200 million for him, whereas Madrid were kind of like, well, yeah, if we get back roughly what we paid for him, you can have him. They've got Endrick up front. That's Endrick. Oh, Endrick brings back some memories of last year's Twitch save when we had a lovely time with Endrick at Peterborough because we were able to steal him from Brazil before the Real Madrid future transfer was set in. I've not actually seen him develop into being a Real Madrid star in any versions of FM so far, so it's quite interesting to see that in this universe he is there as their number 10, their starting striker, so clearly they've got a decent version of him. I don't want to click on him and have a look, because when you click on an opposition player, they always score against you, but I'll try and remember to do it at the end of the match so that we can have a little look at what this version of Endrick looks like. Right, Ruiz wins the ball back in midfield. By the way, Ruiz, I feel like we've not missed a beat losing Carrière. Ruiz has just come in and picked up where he left off, and I don't think it's a downgrade at all, so very happy with him as a sign-in. And there was an example of it there. And now Gray coming across to take the corner. The in-swinger looking for Big Kev, who does get the header onto it, but it's collected relatively comfortably by the Madrid goalkeeper. They won their first game as well, as you can see, so we're both on 4 points as things stand. Bayer Leverkusen, top of the Champions League currently, of course, means nothing. We finished top of the Champions League last year. Did we get a winner's medal? No. Did we even get in the final? No. Don't want to talk about it. What is Hiskey doing here? This is... I mean, that's like that Wayne Rooney clip that you see, although it didn't end with a goal. But he's the last man back, dribbles past the opposition striker, hits a perfect 70-yard pass, but unfortunately the rest of the team let him down, and the same move has ultimately led to us conceding the first goal. Hopefully the referee's going to disallow it. Come on, ref. Come on, ref. Come on, ref. Come on, ref. Come on, ref! Lovely, lovely, lovely. 0-0 still. And hopefully that can be a little bit of a wake-up call to us. That was very tight as well. Look at those two lines basically on top of each other. But a little bit of a wake-up call that we'd quite like to go and create some chances. Please and thank you. I'm still not 100% sold. I know we've just seen him do something great in the match engine just now, but Hiskey is a winger. I don't know. He was a great striker a year and a half ago. He's still only 20, and I might be ruining him by not playing him as centre forward, but it's an opportunity for him to make that spot his own, and I would like him to be a regular starter, but I don't want to sacrifice Big Kev, so I'm giving him a chance to make that left wing spot his own. Obviously we've got the new guy from Ajax as well who is ready to come in and play, but I'd rather it was Hiskey who nailed that spot down. So I'm giving him time to try and do it. Herrera coming in off the right-hand side, and then his shot it's not a great one. Although it did force a save out of the goalkeeper. So Bellingham coming across to take the in-swinger from this side, looking for the far post where the goalkeeper just gets there ahead of Big Kev. And he must have quite long arms, because for him to be able to reach a ball that was heading towards Big Kev's head, very long arms. Right, Van Eijsman doing wonderful work at the base of the midfield, as usual. That's what he does. Calderi, of course, another former Real Madrid man, plays it all the way back to Antonio Carlos, and then we fall into this beautiful back three with a 2 in front shape that I enjoy so very much. Velete deciding to be a little bit fullbacky for someone who's supposed to be playing as the third centre-back. Van Eijsman now to Calderi, and Velete needs to get back in position. There you go, he's got there eventually. Suarez, who's drifted out to the left, finds Gray, and now Big Kev, and Emil Hiskey is in, and that might be the way he secures his starting spot on the left-hand side. A proper striker's finish. It was a lovely goal. It all came from having that extra man in midfield, because it comes through Gray, and Gray, another former Real Madrid guy, that's who we signed him for from Burton, and then Hiskey is in and wasn't going to miss, and that's 1-0 with 20 minutes of the game to go. Let's have a look at how tired our leg situation is. Right, we're going to bring on Fontanils at left back, because he can just do that exact same inverted wing back role. So we'll just have him do exactly what Gray was doing. Herrera's going to come off for Oliveira, and Bellingham, who's on a yellow card, is going to come off. Do we play Ilunga and Ruiz together? I think we probably can. I think we probably let Ilunga be the Mazzala. We do them that way around. I've not played those two together yet. Elunga has started a Bundesliga game in that Mazzala role. But I think we'll have a look at him there, see how he gets on. I mean, we perhaps shouldn't be experimenting against Real Madrid when we're only 1-0 up, but it's a sign of confidence in my new young players. Right, Big Kev is going to come off, not for Sejudo. Where's Connor? Oh, Connor Egan's injured. Okay, so Hiskey can go up front, and we'll bring on Sejudo. Okay, now I get it. Now I get what the assistant manager was getting at. No, Sejudo's not the one I'm aiming at. Still not Sejudo. Where's the new winger? What's he called? I can't remember his name. Why isn't he? Oh, he's there, Cessped. I knew he was around somewhere. There you go. That's the guy I wanted to bring on. There we go. That's more like it. And then for my final trick, I think we bring on... Do we bring on Ferreira? We might bring on Ferreira and just go to a normal defence. And who do we want on the... He can be on support. And then Ferreira can... Yeah, we'll do that. That works. That works for me. Right. Still 1-0 up. Let's grab a second goal. I really want to see Elunga get more game time in these Champions League games. I want to show you him because he is lively. Hiskey's in again. And after an injury-ravaged season last year, that's Emil Hiskey's 6th goal of the season. Maybe he's back, and maybe he'll even start pushing Big Kev for that starting spot at centre forward. Although Connor Egan's probably still above him in the pecking order there, but just getting time on the pitch seems to be doing wonders for Emil Hiskey. And most importantly, look at us beating Paris Saint-Germain and Real Madrid, albeit at home, but it's been relatively comfortable in both games. We're going to win the Champions League. I know I said that last year and the year before, and we literally got to the final the year before that. But this year feels like our year. Fontanills with the long throw. Look at the Hiskey. Of course, he's now on a hat-trick, and it ends up falling to Ferreira. And was that Oliveira, who was just completely powered away from the ball? Oliveira looks like he's got a massive bald patch on the back of his head. I wonder if anyone's told him. Perhaps we should have that conversation. Suarez forward to Fontanills, and now Cessped trying to get in behind using his pace. He has used his pace to win a penalty, and this should be a hat-trick for Emil Hiskey, because I have certainly clicked that button that says players on a hat-trick should get to take penalties. Whether it is still clicked is another question, because you might have to click it. Yeah, no, it has. Emil Hiskey, and there is his hat-trick. A Champions League hat-trick against Real Madrid. It doesn't come much better than that. Emil Hiskey is back. Lovely, lovely, lovely. He's still, I mean, is he even 20 yet? To say he's back, he just had a slightly bumpy road in his development. But him firing on all cylinders this season is going to go a long way towards our Champions League winning aspirations. Right, as I mentioned in the previous video, the plan for this season is to very much focus on the Champions League. So although we are playing Bayern Munich at home next, I'm not going to show you that in the video. If we're still down here by Christmas, we might focus back in on the Bundesliga again. But I'm working on the assumption that we'll win the Bundesliga. We have for the last 2 years in a row, and the team is better now. So I think we'll show you Barcelona and Torino in the next episode, because Barcelona, of course, are Barcelona, and they've got Carrier, and Torino are an interesting tycoon team, and Dukic went there, so we can catch up with 2 of our former players. So Barcelona and Torino, and hopefully by then we'll be top of the Bundesliga and close to qualifying for the knockout rounds. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.